All right, everybody. Good afternoon. Welcome back. We've got more to talk about with Jadarian Price today. Earlier today, we did a video talking about Jadarian by the numbers. We went over his physical profile, his physical attributes, and his statistics from his time in college. Just kind of a deep dive into the exact numbers here. Now that we've established all that, I want to spend a little bit of time going over what makes him tick as a player, what is good about him, what is maybe not so good about him, and basically try to outline the kind of player that we can expect to get here and establish proper expectations. This video is sponsored by Prize Picks. So same document, we're just going to go ahead and take a look at the pros list. This is kind of a much more expanded version of what I do during the primer videos leading up to the draft. I just kind of now go a little bit deeper into it. And then later today, we'll do one more video where I do a alternate kind of spin on this, and then we'll see where we go from there. So the pros, these are the things with Jadarian Price that I think are positive and good, and basically the benefits he brings to the team by being on it. His main thing to me is his vision. And I think that overall, the thing about Jadarian Price that's good is he's a very smart player. His running back vision is very strong for the most part. He sees openings, he gets to the spot, he can work his way through a crowd, and he can kind of dissect angles in the open field and find creative ways to maximize his yardage by taking angles and setting things up in a way that allow him to not necessarily be the fastest or most powerful guy in the world, but still get extra yards. He's also a good agile back in the open field. You get him in the open field, he can cut horizontally, he can make quick moves, he can be unpredictable, he can elude would-be tacklers pretty well. He does have that ability to move horizontally. He's not just a back and forth back. He is somebody that can cross the field, and he is somebody that is willing to plant his foot and change direction at a moment's notice to try to maximize a carry. And maybe this is one of the most important things for the kind of running back we need here. And this is an area where he could even be a little bit better than Ken Walker was for this offense. He's a very decisive cutter. He cuts decisively once he sees the hole, and he gets through the hole quickly. So you think about that Shanahan scheme, the run scheme we use, one cut and go. Get the ball, feel it out, use your vision, find the opening, and then plant and go. He is the kind of back that can do that stuff. He's not the fastest, but he does understand how to be decisive with his cuts. And now we're going to talk about something I mentioned in the earlier video. He had less than 300 touches in his college career, so he is very fresh. Even the most recent season where he was averaging, what was it, like about 10 touches a game, that was a career high for him. That was as much usage as he's ever gotten. So he is ready to play in this league. He should be fresh to go. There should be no issue here. So you're getting a full on Jadarian Price experience. You're not going to have to worry about the Trent Richardson thing where Richardson was worn out by the time he got to the pros. And on top of his vision, one other thing about him is that he knows how to set up his blockers. He's patient. He will pace a run. He will jog. He will walk. He will stop. He will allow the play to develop and allow the blockers to get to the spot so he can create a good opportunity, even if one isn't obviously there. If you like sports, then the best way to make them even better and more exciting is using the PrizePicks app, where it always feels good to be right. PrizePicks makes daily fantasy simple. Just pick more or less on your favorite players and build lineups with a few taps. Whatever sport you're into, and obviously we are now firmly into the NFL offseason, so we're all about baseball, we got some basketball, we got some hockey, whatever it is you like, PrizePicks gives you a fun way to stay locked in while you're watching. Definitely make sure to use the promo code HMA. PrizePicks is hooking up users with $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. If you use that promo code, that is HMA. I've had a great time on PrizePicks so far, so definitely get on over to it, check it out, and make sure to get your lineups. And don't forget about team picks, where you can pick winners, spreads, and totals on any major game. So download the app now, use HMA, and get on over to Prize Picks, where it always feels good to be right. And remember, always gamble responsibly. He's also a creative runner. He is capable of getting the ball, realize that the hole is not where he thought it would be, and he can go against the grain. He can cut back. He can bounce it outside. There is creativity in the way that he plays. Maybe it's not quite at the Ken Walker levels, but there's a trade-off there too, right? Sometimes Ken Walker was too creative. So there is some creativity in Price's game, which I like. He gets up to his top speed pretty quickly once he goes through the hole. He's decisive when he decides to go. So he can quickly kind of blow through the hole and break away because he is assertive once he decides it's time to go. And he does have enough speed and quickness to win outside for zone runs. You look at the tape, when he's asked to do outside zone runs, he's able to get out there. It's not perfect, but it can work. He's elusive in the open field. He's got good movement skills. He can plant and go. He can cut. He can stop. He can change direction quickly. He has the ability to be a smooth mover in the open field. He has good elusiveness. So there is some of that stuff going on here. Maybe he's not an elite missed tackle guy, but he's pretty good. And he has good instincts as a running back as well. He instinctually understands where he needs to get to with the ball in his hands. It's not just vision. It also seems like he has a feel for what is going on in front of him. There's also some good contact balance here. He's not a power back, but if you try to tackle him with your arm or you have a bad angle, it's going to be hard to bring him down. He's going to drag you for extra yards. He's going to get past you, and he's going to continue the run. So he's not powerful, but I wouldn't call him weak either. One other benefit with Jadarian Price, by the way, he's a great kickoff returner. He's returned 22 kicks in his time at Notre Dame, averaged 36.1 yards, and had 3 touchdowns. So he's actually one of the best kickoff returners in this draft. Now, I think Shaheed has that job on lockdown, but at the same time, that kickoff return position is now completely iced up. No matter what happens, the Seahawks are going to have an elite kickoff return guy this year. Even if Shaheed isn't there, Price is there. And then you have Horton, who, by the way, might be pretty good at that stuff too. We'll see. And this is going to kind of tie into something I'm going to talk about in the cons. So one thing I want to say, he has not missed a game over his last 3 seasons at Notre Dame. He has played every game possible. So yeah, the Achilles tear is notable, but he has moved past it very effectively. Okay, so those are the pros. Let's talk about the cons now, some of the issues with him. The obvious one is he never started a college game. So we have no idea if he can take on high volume. Now, we don't need him to take high volume, but he is going to take more volume than he did in college. In college, he averaged in his final year less than 10 touches a game, like 9.5 carries a game. I don't think that's going to cut it in the pros. You're going to need somebody that can give you 15 to 18 carries sometimes, maybe even 20. And I'm not saying Price needs to do that immediately, but there will come a time where we probably need more than 9 or 10. So he's going to have to prove that he can do it. He's going to have to prove that he can start. And like I said, even in that final year, averaged less than 10 touches a game. So it feels like there's some unproven stuff here. The fumble issue seems legitimate. That is something that needs to get cleaned up. I don't think this team is going to accept fumbles. We already have a quarterback that turns it over more than the typical quarterback. So I don't want to add a running back that is going to put it on the ground a bunch. Because remember, this team did almost lead the league in turnovers last year. And imagine how much better they could be if they could keep everything the same and trim that down. And I'm not somebody that freaks out about turnovers. I don't think turnovers are the end of the world from a quarterback. There are other things I care about with a quarterback. But as a running back, I think fumbling is really tough to get around, especially when we as Seahawks fans are so used to running backs that don't fumble. His actual top speed is pretty average by the standards of his size. So there's nothing remarkably fast here. He's just kind of average. So the breakaway speed in the manner that we're talking about is not really there yet. And it's not ever going to be there. He's not going to lose more weight. I don't think. If anything, he packs on weight. He's not really a powerful runner. He doesn't break tackles. He doesn't fight for yards the same way that even a Zach Charbonnet does. But this is not a guy who's going to plow through on short yardage for tough yardage. This is not a guy who's going to just bowl over linebackers all the time. This is not a real power back. His burst is actually kind of mediocre, which is disappointing because he is a one cut and go guy. But you do wish his burst was a little more violent and sudden. It's a little bit, it's not slow, it's not gradual, but there is a sense that he would be better off if he was a little bit quicker to accelerate up to full speed. The receiver production is also a legitimate concern here. He basically was not used as a receiver in college. Does that mean he can't do it, or does that mean he just didn't do it because Jeremiah Love was too good? We may be finding out the hard way here. He will definitely have to catch a little bit more than he did in college, I think. Also on third down, not an effective blocker right now. He allowed a pretty high rate of pressure on his reps. I think it was 6 pressures on about 90 reps. That is not good. And in the NFL, it's only going to get harder. And if he's not a third down back, that does reduce his value. If he doesn't play on third down, it's really hard to stack him up with the guys who do. And he did have the ruptured Achilles in 2022. That's a major injury, and that cost him his whole freshman season. So there is something to be said here about injuries, even if he hasn't gotten hurt in a couple years now. So those are the cons as I see it with Price. They're mostly self-evident and obvious. There's nothing here that is particularly shocking, but overall, that is the running back we're getting here, I think, in terms of traits. So we'll get to the tape a little bit later. We'll do a little bit of a tape eval, kind of a rudimentary Mickey Mouse one, but best I can do. See you guys then. Go Hawks. Let me know what you think of Jadarian Price. Those are the traits as I see it. That is the kind of player I think we're getting. All right, go Hawks.